Need a couple bad exotics and a black Bugatti.
Yo, we are live. We back.
Hey, another episode back in Denver, man. How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling? Oh, we got a special guest.
We got a guest.
Hey, y'all.
Why you here? Miss Imani, go ahead.
Hey, guys. I'm Imani. I don't know how to introduce myself. I'm a writer, I'm a storyteller, a brand strategist, and a florist. And I am a good friend of both Diamante and Calvin, so I'm really excited to be here today.
So eloquently. Come on, let's drink, y'all. I like how you came in. You didn't have to really say too much, you know?
I wasn't ready.
We'll take another one for you.
Oh,
cheers.
Yes, sir.
After you're done closing your eyes.
Whew.
Yeah, that was.
How you doing today, D? You just came back from a cruise. You all refreshed?
Dog, I've been drinking a week straight, so this shit right here is just giving me flashbacks of me blacking out and shit at that point.
Wait, so it's like all you can drink on the cruise?
So sometimes you get packages where you can get all you can drink. I was finessing with the people who had that. They buy me drinks and shit. I was definitely getting to.
Oh, it's giving like a resort on water.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Cool.
A resort on water. Yeah, like. Well, man, I'm straight. I'm a little relaxed. I'm sad that I'm back working at doing the rest of stuff. But hey, it is what it is. How y'all feeling?
All right, man. I'm about to go to Mexico. You know, my name is Ramon for the rest of the week. Real loud.
That's your Mexican name?
Okay. Ramon Gonzalez.
Can you bring me back a magnet? I'm starting a magnet collection.
I got you.
Thank you.
So how are you feeling today, Imani?
I'm good. It's Monday again, which is crazy because it's like it was just Monday last week. I'm feeling a little sick, but actually that shot of whiskey made me feel a little better. So
feeling a little good, right?
We might be on a good.
So today we brought our friend on because first things first, you know, like rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. You know, he just passed away. He was a very interesting human being. Definitely very controversial. I kind of think that his viewpoints were, you know, that they were a little bit overbearing at times for some people, but we brought Imani on to kind of discuss like what do you think his legacy was, like what was his impact as far as like was he actually making sense? Was he somewhat misogynistic? And we're gonna dive in. So Imani, just curious, you take the floor. What do you think?
Well, I was actually talking to my friends about this a lot over the weekend, and one of my friends said something that it's like you shouldn't leave a legacy where people feel like they need to disrespect you in death. And I feel like that's kind of how I've been looking at the Kevin Samuels thing. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, like I definitely tuned in here or there. There was nothing he ever said that was like, I feel like I should be listening to this. But I think that it was interesting that he had that big of an audience. So I do think it's like
I completely that's how I felt.
I think that that there's power in media and power in sharing your message. So I think I don't want to say it was all bad, but I just think it's kind of like we learned about Kevin Samuels over the pandemic. So it's like nobody really had the chance to challenge him for real yet in like real life. And I think that is what the next step should have been. So I feel kind of sad that we never seen him have any real dialogue other than him kind of talking at people. As far as a legacy, I think that's an interesting question because I don't think I know about that just yet. We gonna see. I mean, I do want to say this, like I think it's really powerful that men are speaking up more, even if it is misogynistic. Like I think that that's the beginning of conversation. So I do love that he encouraged more people to like feel like they can share their point of view. Not that I always agree with that point of view, but that's powerful.
I feel like his legacy definitely opened up that door though, like and people being more blunt or people being okay with communicating exactly how they feel. Because even though at times he would go to the extreme, he would say some truth inside that what males kind of feel, but they're kind of hesitant to say it because they don't know the reactions. So I think he kind of opened the door for other people where it's like, I'm not saying that like, okay, that woman will never get it because how they look or how they are, but just more so like, all right, most commonly, this is how men like train to think at this point. So this is why something won't go that way. But I do think he kind of went too much. But yeah, that legacy opened the door for others, and we kind of see a lot of people follow up after that and having their own misogynistic little podcast things. Like example, Fresh and
It's a
Fit.
wave, yeah. I'm about to
I
say it's
never
a
listened to
wave.
that one. I've heard a
Yeah,
lot about that one.
that Jane is very it's very wild because it's coming from those type two people, and then like I don't know, it opened up doors for that, and that's like a pro and con because just like you said, men are able to speak up, but then you got the wrong people speaking up, so that's where it kind of was like misconstrued at.
I agree with the both of you. One thing that stood out to me was that obviously his message or how he delivered it was horrible. I just don't think you have to talk to people in that manner, period.
Mhm.
Like, regardless of the situation, if you want to relay a message or you want to be stern with somebody, there's always a way to go about it without being disrespectful. So that's where he went wrong. But
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like a lot of people really. I've only watched that live a couple times, but every time I got on there, it was like women really opening up to him and sharing with him. So I feel like the fact that you can get people that vulnerable, like they're like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
they're
that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, I seen the power in Kevin Samuels because it's not that, like, don't get me wrong, like he was powerful as far as like, like I said, how he was going about things, but his impact was real. Like, people are legit knowing, because the biggest thing with me is like, if you can acknowledge that somebody is a certain way and you still choose to support the act. So
or even
like
right, listen.
black women, I'm being honest, black women would talk about Kevin Samuels, but it would be black women on his, live, getting on, asking him about how he felt about their love life.
I would like to. I want to say one thing, and Imani, please correct me if I am wrong.
Oh, let's Rogie. We about to dive in. We about to
Wait,
dive
y'all
in.
gotta tell me. Let me just keep it poured.
This is how I'm thinking about it, right? I ain't gonna hold you. In our community, a lot of males, we don't tend to try to answer or communicate why we don't want you or why we want to leave. We'll just be like, we just leave, or we don't try to really leave any trails or any clues or anything. I feel like Kevin Samuels was the first male who kind of is openly telling you the issues at which we won't communicate at times, right? Because he'll tell you, okay, well, you have a child. Well, this man doesn't, and this man does this. Maybe he doesn't want you because of that reason. Not saying that that's right or wrong,
Right.
but example that would give. And I feel like a lot of males, that's what happened. We don't ever try to leave with like reasoning or try to comment and give clues to try to better that person or help them be better for the next one. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he was the only person who kind of answered the questions when they wanted it to be answered, even though it wasn't in the correct way that we all would like it to be, responded with. He answered the question.
But my bad, just to finish my point, to make it worse, like
To make it
he was
worse.
divorced twice. You
Oh,
feel
really?
me?
I didn't know that.
He
See,
was divorced twice. So it's like,
did he talk about why his relationships ended?
no. And the thing is, people are still going to him and asking him for counseling. And his marriages didn't work. So like, I think I was more in shock that like, wow, like you can really sway a mind by saying a bunch of, big words and talking in a,
And wearing a suit in
know what
your
I'm saying,
house.
wearing a suit and it's just like, damn, the whole persona and what he put on, he did his job, and I think he did it well. And I think his impact will be the fact that I'm gonna be honest, if you believe something enough, like you can convince somebody else to believe it too, like real shit.
For sure.
That's very true. Definitely. It's
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because like I feel like on one hand, like you said, some of the stuff he was saying wasn't wrong. It was just the way it was delivered. Like he said, he used to talk a lot about like social status and like a woman doesn't want a broke man, a man doesn't want a broke woman. And I think that like it is very hard to date when you don't got no money. I don't know what his financial status was, but I talk a lot, and I've actually been thinking a lot about how like no shade, but like, do white people have a Kevin Samuels? Like, it's so easy to date when you're white because they're basically all on kind of that same social class. It's not true.
Absolutely.
We know that for a fact. We know it's different social classes of white people, but like, I've just been noticing. I feel like it's a lot easier for them to date. So it's like, of course, women, Black women, y'all. I remember I saw this stat a couple years ago. It's like for every one Black woman, there's like 3 Black men that are in jail right now. So that's like the dating pool. So it's like, if this guy comes dressed up and he's saying a little bit of something that makes sense, it's like, okay, I mean, why not listen
He's
to him?
different than
Even
most, right? Like he's different than what you used to.
I
But I
don't
mean,
see.
no, go ahead, D.
I do not endorse Kevin Samuels for anyone watching me.
That's
I'm
what
just saying.
so like my thing is, and let's talk like we can kind of dive in into like what you just kind of stated, how like it's hard dating someone broke, but like a lot of from a woman's standpoint, right? A woman, men have to come with everything, and a woman doesn't have to have everything right, and that's justified. But if the roles is flipped, you know, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. So if a woman doesn't have actually I said it right. If a woman doesn't have her things together and a man does, that's kind of justified. But if the roles are flipped, then it's not justified at all. Like, oh no, like he need to get it together. Do you think that's fruit? Do you think that's right?
This is another thing. This is kind of what I was trying to go into from that. I feel like there's a lot of like societal things that have been put in our heads as Black people, especially because like in the 80s and the 90s, like I said, most Black men was locked up. So I feel like I don't think that I feel like if you really love somebody, like you can support them. I mean, I don't want to be with nobody that's down bad, not trying to help themselves, but I feel like, dang, y'all. But
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna walk you.
I mean, it's like not like be with somebody that's down bad and you not trying to do nothing for themselves, but I do think that like, and I'm trying to think about the best way to say this is like, there are a lot of pressures put on Black men to like always show up and always be on and like have us. And so I understand where Kevin Samuels is coming from in that aspect. Like, but I think that I feel like instead of talking about the real issue and like what that's rooted in, he was like pitting us against each other in a way. Wait, this only has, y'all, I'll let y'all figure it out. But
Yeah, I know. We're gonna figure it out.
yeah, I think I mean I don't agree with that either because I don't feel comfortable going into a relationship when I got a whole bunch of shit, or just like dating, honestly, when I got a whole bunch of shit going on. It's like, what can I bring to the table? But I do recognize that like males, especially Black males, like there's more pressure on y'all to show up, or like, especially bruh, the dating game right now, this shit seems treacherous. Like I could not imagine being a man to become like I could not imagine
I'm
being
glad you understand. I'm glad.
Brogy!
y'all lost my
Please.
bottle though.
I'm telling you.
Cause it's a dangerous game out here.
It seems expensive. It seems like I could just start with expensive. I really can't. It just like seems like you have to fit. There's not really any. I feel like the dating game right now is kind of unrealistic, and I feel like in a way for some
my bad.
Black women. No, I'm sorry because I've been going on a rant, but I feel like for some Black women, it feels like Kevin Samuels was also projecting unrealistic standards. But it's like we're kind of all playing into like what social media is telling us about what relationships are supposed to be and look like.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like what the thing is that people don't like to like, be honest about themselves about is that there are rules to dating. Like there are things that people require based on status, since we're talking about status. Like there's things that if you're younger as a woman dealing with a man with wealth that you can get away with more than dealing with a man who, if you're an older woman, like he's going to be more willing to, take chances on that younger woman just due to the fact that he thinks that there's going to be less problems. Just those are things that he was, alluding to. And it's like, yeah, like obviously that's not every man, but we can't ignore the fact that, yeah, like men date younger women. Like if you're a man with money, 9 times, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, but there's a high possibility that like if you haven't already been dating Or if you're not dating somebody your age, like, I don't know, it's like men have, in a way, men with money like to control. So it's like they like
That's
to
what I was
mold
gonna say.
somebody. Like they like to mold a girl. So like it's easier to mold younger women because they haven't experienced as much.
And I was just going to interject real fast. Like, even the niggas is trying to like toss the money, they fucking it up because, right, let's say when the young girl start fucking with the old head, right, or the nigga who just flossing the money at that point. When you try to actually build a genuine relationship with the person, the girl just expecting money to keep being thrown at her. So now it's just like, I want to show my appreciation and give you and buy you shit, but it's like, damn, is this shit genuine now, or is it you just trying to finesse, trying to come up? Because now I feel like in the dating scene, you got to worry about that as well. Because I didn't listen. We all done seen offenses, and listen, woman getting they shit off. I'm talking about this one gent getting her shit all the way off. Like top scammers getting. Not only know they scammers, but top niggas just buy her all designers, all that shit, and she like, damn, this boyfriend number 3 for the week. And I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? So
can I get her number? It's like, no.
this is crazy, man. But what's your take on that, Imani?
No, I was actually, me and a friend of mine had said we was going to start like a little movie or make a documentary on what the root of that shit is, because, and I don't even know what to call it, because it's not even like, I understand sugar daddy culture, right? You trying to milk an older dude who got a bunch of money, who just wants to spend on a young girl. But it's like, people, on one hand, I feel like it's messed up because, like you said, like the dudes really be out here spending and they
Yeah,
don't be
they
asking
really
no
will.
question.
They really will.
Kind of. But on the other hand, it's like, I don't know. Like, I love gifts, y'all. But like, I don't want something from somebody just because you want to use me as a status symbol to show that you got it. Like, and I don't really like the fact of like, it's like women are just looking at men as, and not all women, but it's like we can't keep looking at each other as like transactional.
Yeah, I my bad. I'm sorry to cut you, but I seen this tweet that was like, or this like post that was, Obama and Kevo said it. Said the problem is with society now is that women are only looking at men's pockets and men are only looking at women's bodies. Like those are the like basis of our relationships now. And I think that's what Kevin Samuels was trying to say. Like he would ask, like, how is your height? What is your body frame? Like, are you curvy? Like these are things he's asking a woman. Is like people are like, oh my God, why? Men, look at that. He's telling you what a man's looking at. Like not all, and once again, not all men. I don't want people to sit here and think that we are like, oh, Kevin Sanders was this truth speaker.
We love Kevin.
He's the guru. No.
Y'all know that about me. I don't think.
Yeah, like the nigga has some valid points from the viewpoint of a man. Like, yes, he did. Like I said, it just wasn't.
And I also think that people, I think that what Kevin Samuels did, and I feel like Diamante kind of brought this up before, it's like women watched it because it's like people don't really be real with themselves. Like Kevin Samuels offended people, and you could tell he offended people by, I know more about Kevin. I only heard about Kevin Samuels because people were talking about him and going on him. And so it's like, even the other day when he passed, a girl that I know closely, we used to go to church together, she posted kind of like a tribute to him. And my first reaction was like, girl, what? Like, what are you talking about? But she was really honest, and she talked about her dating experience and the fact that, and I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with everything that she said, but she was like, she feels like Kevin Samuels really opened her eyes, because before she felt like she was competing with men in relationship, like, and Kevin Samuels kind of showed her that sometimes men do want women to be a little more, she didn't say docile, but that's what I read from it. She said a little more understanding and like loving and caring, and a little, like supporting.
Right.
And I feel like that is sometimes what I feel like, because like I said, like there has been a kind of like Black women for so long were the homemakers. Like black men were locked up, but now we have this generation of Black men that are really getting to it, getting money, and it's like they're pitting us against each other in a way where it doesn't have to be like that. Like we can support each other, we can bring each other up, we can date.
No, absolutely, bro. And that's and like how you say about your friend though, right? I mean, the person we went to church with. Like a lot of women kind of saw him in that light, because just their questions were being answered. Because again, like I was discussing, our community, we don't really communicate, and I feel like that's one thing did open up. Just males being honest and not caring about the repercussion of being honest. Like yes, and not being like an asshole. not saying like that's the like excusable part, but more so just being honest about how you feel and being and understanding that yeah, it might rub that person the wrong way, but at the end of the day, they know where things where went wrong at, or they understand where I was coming from. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it kind of really opened up the door for it.
So let me ask y'all. Wait,
Go
what was
ahead.
you gonna say, Kel?
No, go ahead.
Do y'all feel like, when y'all relationships end, do you communicate, or like even when if a girl tries to talk to you that you're not really like, she not your type, or there's something off, do you communicate that, or do you just kind of like, how do y'all?
I ain't gonna lie. I try to communicate it. Like when I got a girl, I text the Jenks who I was like talking to at the moment. I got a girl. I was trying to be as blunt as possible. Like I'm not trying to like lie and then you find out and then it be a whole catastrophe. Nah, I got a girl. Or even if it's issues with my girl, whatever the case is, I try to communicate and be like open as possible because I feel like if you're in a relationship, you gotta learn to talk and deal and communicate. Cause overall, that's what the whole relationship is supposed to be. A bond of communication between, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to make it as strong as possible. And communication is that one thing that will do it. So I try to be as honest as much as I can.
So, I mean, D, you were saying how basically, like communication is the primary thing for you. Now, for me, I ain't gonna lie, like I communicate when something, I don't like something, but I don't really, let me be honest, like people say they like the truth. People do not like the truth. Okay. Let's be real. Like it's like you like the truth to an extent. Because if I tell you exactly how I feel about you, you wouldn't like that. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10. So that's why a lot of the times, in my opinion, I'll fabricate just to save feelings, but I won't lead you on though. Like, you know what I mean? I just won't be as blunt as I possibly could.
But I don't think it's more so like fabricating, because then like I don't think you need to do that route. It's just more so using the correct like wording to make it phrase like, all right, I'm giving off like the message of how I feel, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Cause then like granted, if you being bluntly honest and being truthfully like that, that's the whole Kevin Samuels approach, where you just don't care about anybody's feelings. So you don't have any regards whatsoever. But I feel like if you understand a word and you try to reword it where it's just like it's not coming with a malicious intent, some people are better off understanding that. What you think though, Imani?
Where do I learn that though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you learn like proper breakup or proper like etiquette? You feel me? Like, this is the thing. If you was raised
And
by a
write
nigga,
rom-coms, and that's what I'm saying. There's no examples for us.
yeah,
Like,
I was literally about to say that. Think about it. Like, if I remember when I was young, right? My uncle, this is how he taught me to get girls. He'd real loud tell me to tell them what they wanted to hear. Like, that's how
Everybody.
I was taught to get
and that's
girls.
how
Like,
so many of the guys I know just like growing
so it's
like
like
that's what y'all do.
if that's the origin of like, you know what I mean, your game or how you get women, like you're gonna sell dreams. And even if it's not always selling dreams, you're not gonna always be, as direct as you would like to be, because you know you just have to be considerate of people's feelings. And like, in my opinion, being considerate of your feelings is not like telling you the 100% truth. I just gotta tell you 60 so you can get the point.
You wanna know my turning point where I learned how I had to be like very upfront and truthful. When I woke up one day coming outside my this is when I live in Block 43 in college.
But you had a stalker?
Huh?
You had a stalker?
I don't know, I'm gonna tell you what I saw.
Oh, okay.
Somebody put cake mix and eggs all over my car.
You
Like
said
legit,
what?
they put cake mix and eggs all over my car. Like I swear,
And you couldn't even eat the cake. I would have been
Damn, I'm about to say,
and then the worst part
this
about
the
it is,
batter?
like,
ooh, it
bitch,
was raining that day. It
you
was
couldn't even
raining.
make the cake. It was your birthday?
No, it wasn't even my birthday. That's
Hey,
like, fool, I was so confused because I ain't gonna lie. I was talking to a couple janks, and then I was just like, you know what? Clean slate. I'm gonna cut them off, lose whatever the case is. Like, I'm cool. Like, I just like vanished from all them janks. I realized, and this is when I was always late for my 8 o'clock class. The one day I said, you know what, I feel so good. I'm gonna go there on time. She ain't gonna complain. So when I walk outside, I had to go back in the house and re-walk back out. I'm like, nah, maybe my eyes tripping right now. I swear to God, I had to do that. Ain't no way. I seen that. I still got the video in my phone to this day. And like real life, it was kind of drizzling.
So you know who did it?
No, I still don't know to this day. I really, like if you see, sometimes I tweet on Twitter. It's years. Please come out. Whoever did this into my car. I feel like I got some words for their ass. Cause then my dumb ass, like, I tried to go to the car wash, the little automatic jank that be like at Sheets or whatever. So I go through that shit. Fool, that shit just made it worse. That shit real life like mixing up the batter on my car, fool. So like at that,
Google what's the worst shit you could do because
yeah,
I ain't never had
I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty good. She did pretty good.
No, she did great. Whoever it was, I had to realize take a shirt that was in my trunk and realize wipe my car the whole time. Like I went to my 8 o'clock. I said, "Excuse me, man." I forgot her name too, but she was a nice little lady.
So when you wait, I gotta ask you. So when you cut them off, you cut them off.
You ghosted them. He said he vanished.
I vanished. I just ghosted him. I ain't give no type of explanation. And like,
all right. So you a woman? As a woman, like that. This like, do you what would you prefer? Would you prefer to be ghosted, or would you prefer? I mean, obviously, you probably would prefer to be, told why somebody doesn't want to talk to you. But would you care if somebody ghosted you?
I've been ghosted multiple times in the past pandemic. So not multiple, y'all. Don't take it like that. People like me, obviously. But most of the times the people, and this don't sound like your situation, Diamante, but most of the time people ghost you because they can't tell you what's actually going on, and then they try to come back around without they try to tiptoe back in your life. I feel like I am a big girl personally. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a big girl, and I feel like you should be able to communicate with people. Like, not even, you don't got to tell me why you don't want to fuck with me, because I'm not going to go around telling, sometimes I don't even know why I don't want to fuck with people. It's just like, I'm not feeling you. I can't make it eloquent, but it's like, you can communicate like, yeah, this is not what I'm doing right now. Like, because I feel like most of the times when people get ghosted, or in my experience, it's been with people that I'm actually really vibing with. And it's like, okay, this is cool. We talk about things. We finna do like random shit. It's just about to happen. And then one day you wake up and they're not there anymore. And it's like, yo, I'm dramatic and I have really bad anxiety. So I'd be like, oh my God, did they die? And then they didn't die, y'all. I'd be seeing these bitches on Instagram and shit. And it's like, so like, you didn't have to tell me and okay, people be like, yes, one day you're going to get the message. And I think I understand it a little bit more. Like everybody doesn't, like I said, everybody doesn't deserve an explanation from you. But I think it's more of a respect thing than anything. I be like, there's a certain level of respect I feel like if you're fucking with somebody, you should have a certain level of respect for them, if that's the level of fucking with them that you're doing.
Right.
And so I would always prefer for you to just be like, because I feel like there's a difference between ghosting and falling off. That happens too sometimes. And like, that shit's usually mutual. But I feel like ghosting, I think it's something that we have I don't know if it happened in the past. I feel like it was probably easier to ghost in the past because you don't see people on social media.
Right, yeah.
Like, maybe they did die. But now it's like, I feel like we feel too much responsibility to each other. And that's
really if you don't, to me, I think it's easier for you to just leave a person, because me, right? If a girl, there's been times like, I've been texting somebody and they've stopped texting me. Well, I'm not going to try to come to reasons as to why you're not texting me anymore. Yeah. It's pretty evident that you don't want to talk to me anymore. So I'm not going to then try to, come up with complications as to why or stress about it. It's pretty simple. Either you want to talk to me, I'm available. If not, then you don't want to talk to me. It's that simple. So, I don't know. Maybe that's maybe, my perspective.
No, I feel like I understand that too. Like, I mean, I'm not going to go into Diamante. I saw you about to speak, so I'm going to just say this, but it's like, it's not like go into the equations of why people aren't, but I just feel like, I personally feel like sometimes it'd be some bitch ass shit. Like, because if you wasn't a bitch, you could have just been like, look, Imani, you're cool as shit. and I'm obviously taking this really personal, but just like you're cool as shit. But right now, like Diamante said, me and my girl just got back together, or I just somebody who's a little cooler, or like, I'm not fucking with you on that level. And I feel like people don't, and I'm not just talking about like just texting. It's like I feel like with that it's easier. But Diamante, what were you gonna say? Because I think a rant about ghosting.
When I was single, just talking to people. I mean, I don't want to say toxic, whatever that is, but like I was a more person where it's just like I'll just talk and like we'll have a great time conversing and I'll just disappear and I'll just come back. And there's not really no reason. It's just because like I relatively just be like, all right, don't feel like talking to nobody. And then I'll just don't talk to them no more. And I'll come back when I feel like it, or like if they hit me back up, then we'll converse. But it's just like I'm more so like it was more so enjoy the moment while we got it, because I don't know if it's going to last.
I gotta ask you something, D. I gotta ask you something because what you just said and what kind of Imani was alluding to. So you just said basically like, you don't know why you come back into these girls' lives back in your single days. You don't know why, you just do it at times. So like it kind of seems like, did you just like having them around? Like
honestly, I think maybe that's what it was, right? I like not the attention, but more so like just the conversation, like the woman perspective on it and stuff. Like I like to just really converse and get different perspectives. So I just, be talking and stuff like that. And then after a while, I don't know if you call it falling off, but like it's not like I lost complete interest in the person. It's just something that gravitated me towards talking to them for the entire time or going to the next step. It was like the chase or something. Like, I don't know, the chase of like trying to get another girl or like seeing how she is. Like, I don't know, maybe in my head, I always thought that the grass is always greener. So I'll probably just go on and just stop talking or then talk to somebody else, or I'll just stop talking to everybody in general. Like, it was really confusing with me at that point.
So Imani, do you think at times where you've been in those situations that you like at the moment the person just like having you around and that they just didn't want to have you around, and like do you believe that was the case?
Yeah, I've been a ghosted and I've also been a ghoster. So like I understand like I love talking to new people. I just love talking most of the time. So I understand it and I understand the appeal. And of course, like, yes, they love having me around, Kelvin. I don't know why you asked me that.
I already know. Of course, who would not love to have you around? I know.
But I think that it's interesting. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but I just watched like When Harry Met Sally the other day. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, but the beginning of the movie, they talk about, it's a white rom-com, which I love, white rom-coms. They in the beginning of the movie, they really just talk about like if men and women can be friends. And I think that's what happens in the beginning of a lot of relationships. Like friendship starts to formulate, blah, blah, blah. And then you realize like, oh, I wouldn't fuck with this person romantically. And you kind of just, and I think that's also what a lot of people said about Kevin Samuels is that like, and kind of what his like dialogue was saying is that like, it feels like people can't respect a woman that they don't see themselves fucking or like having a romantic relationship with. And I think that that's where the respect part came in for me. It's like, and tell me if I'm answering your question, but it's like,
no, you are, and what you just said. Can I answer that?
Yeah, please interrupt me at any point.
Like, do I think that? Damn, this is gonna sound shallow. Damn, but I gotta be honest. Okay, there's been situations where I've treated people, women specifically, where if you didn't look necessarily the best,
Come on.
It's not that I didn't treat you the best. I didn't hold you to the same regard as some of the more attractive women that I've dealt with, and I can be honest about that in the past. Like I have, like I really have.
What does that look like? But Diamante, you were going to say something, so y'all can.
No, I was just going to say, like, I mean, I don't know. I've always been a type where I just like, granted, I like conversing or getting different perspectives. So I really ain't care. Like, if you wasn't a girl, if you're a girl that's attractive, that's cool. But even if you a girl that's not attractive to me, like attractive to me whatsoever, that's still cool as long as you got like great conversation or something like that. Like, It's just more so. I feel like I think you're gonna always go based upon what you want from that opposite gender, maybe, and like maybe you don't want
This
a lot of.
nigga's giving you such a pastor answer right now, and it's
No,
killing me. Like,
You
it's
pastor?
killing me, yo.
I legit.
It's
If you
killing
know
me.
me,
Like, he trying to
hold
give
on,
you this pastor
I'm,
ass shit.
I'm not.
And this
Oh,
nigga ain't no saint.
I'll
Okay,
be
come on,
honest,
man.
right? At A&T, I will be real. I'll be cool with the nerdies and nerds and engineers, and be cool with regular people. Like the
We're not
younger.
talking about that. We're not talking about treating people with respect.
Hear what I'm saying? Hear what I'm saying to you though. It don't matter who you are or what you look, or whatever the case is. I'm just saying, I just like to converse. That's where that's where I'm going at with it. It don't really matter about what you look like. Cause I like fool. Come on now, you telling me, all right now
Oh, okay. So wait. So there's girls who you just fucked, correct?
okay.
Just fucked, right? Like, don't you? That's what I'm saying. Stop acting. You ain't no pastor, bro.
Right, I'm saying
What the
right.
fuck? You did it before. It's okay.
I
It's
didn't say
okay.
no. I
Talk.
never did. I said right.
All right. So it's girls that you just fucked, and there's
Right.
girls who it took some time to fuck, right?
Right.
Did you treat them exactly the same? The ones who were quick,
Oh wow.
huh?
I treat that like I'm not gonna lie. All right, this is my thing. I realize be friendly with all my James. Stats. You know me. Every girl that you ever encountered in the course of man,
He made a face.
so you telling me I've not been friendly. Some days, yeah, of course, I probably went a little different route.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm not,
of course, I
that's
went a
all
different.
I'm saying,
I'm saying
Imani.
like
That
I'm
is
saying
Southern
I'm always
Avenue.
be friendly to them though. Like I'm gonna always be friends, and I was kind of about to go back to that point, which is like I think maybe that's what fucks me up with like a lot of female. I think I could disappear is that like I always be too friendly, and then I'm end up fucking, and it's just like I'm still treating them as a friend. I'm not treating them on a different level, and then I could just like if you my friend, I could just disappear and reappear. You just a friend I fuck now, and it's just like I disappear and reappear. I think maybe that's where like that probably can stem from where my actions are doing that. That's what I was just gonna go at with it though. Like no matter what though, I'm still treat you like a friend.
I'm not saying that I'm really gonna like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that, oh, if you're not a fucking tractor, I'm gonna say, hey, bitch, come here. Like, no, I'm not, I don't talk like that. I don't talk like that to people, period.
Kelvin.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't talk like people, like, I don't talk like that to people, period. But
You guys are both high value men. We get it. You guys are so respectful.
but it's like I can just acknowledge that I think people be lying too much. Like, I think niggas be lying. Like, I know that there has been instances where I've done that. Do I do that all the like? Do I not realize I was wrong? Hell yeah! Like, it's shallow.
Why? Well, I guess we kind of alluded to why when you said that like your uncle told you that tell the girl whatever she wants to hear back in the day. But it's like
not only just that.
Okay.
It's not even just like, obviously it's the upbringing, but it's also the fact that like I know that this doesn't mean that you don't respect yourself, but like if I'm allowed to do certain things as quickly as early, I'm gonna move a little bit differently than I would with somebody who makes me wait. Even though that person could be a little bit less respectable, you know what I mean? They could still not be as respectable in how they carry themselves. But the initial interaction, if that is, immediately sexual, and if like you are, trying to get bust, you know what I mean? Then I'm gonna be like, well, damn, like you trying to get hit no matter what I say, aren't you? Like,
so say you meet a girl. Wait, Diamante, say what you want to say because
I was just gonna say I definitely see what you're gonna say. As a young nigga, when I was going through my Facebook,
yeah,
I was a very, very, very wild ass nigga. Like, and I'm a little nigga, like talking like that. But I was very wild, and when I was inboxing them, like, it's no reason why I don't even know how old I was. I know I wasn't more. I was probably like 11, 12. I'm telling the Jane, like, oh my god, like real life, like if you ain't fucking, I don't even know why we talk. So it was instances where like niggas is really like, but that's how we kind of, like you said, kind of like the upbringing, what you kind of see is just like, damn, if you let this motherfucker talk to you like that, why the fuck I can't talk to you like
Ex-
that?
ex-
That's
ex-
how
exactly.
back in the day,
Exactly.
like if that next person like over disrespected, and then you kind of think about the role models you kind of had growing up, I ain't gonna hold you, like you ain't had a lot of like prominent male figures except the niggas who kind of getting the girls, and you know it's gonna be the in DC. You know what go on if you can't talk. You know if you don't get her, man, fuck you, woo woo. Or if she a little sweet jank, you just saying anything. So at that point, because they the ones who seem like they get most of the girls, you just kind of like going towards that like that way and stuff. So I see what you was going. I see what you was saying with that one. That's that.
That's all. That's all.
Well,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead, Mark.
man.
Sorry.
No, because I feel like that changed my scenario a little bit. I I'm still kind of just like wrapping my head around all of it because I feel like on one hand I want to know like, so my scenario was going to be like, say you meet a girl that you like and she also wants to fuck that day that y'all meet, like is that not respectable? And then I feel like my real question is like, what is respectable, and do women that are not respectable not deserve respect?
That's what I was about to say. Like, yes, everybody deserves respect. And like what I meant is like what I realized as I got older though. Like as I got older, I'm like, damn, like just because I don't want to wife this girl or I don't like want to like pursue anything further, don't mean I get to treat her differently than a girl that I'm actually am trying to wife. Like, you know what I mean? But that take time though, because in the beginning, when you just, you know, when you out here doing your thing, you know, you ripping and running and shit, you know, like there's times in which every girl you don't want a wife.
Yeah.
Like real life. Like there's a lot of girls you don't want a wife.
Some girls are just the food girl.
And I was just gonna say, people just don't teach you the respect part to it. You know what I'm saying? You just really, like you said, come with maturity over time, and that's something that you had to learn. And like honestly, I don't think it's like a set time limit that can really like when you have sex with that girl that can define how good of a person she is. Because I had people give it up faster, and like they like great people always like
yeah, that's what I mean. I've experienced that too.
And I had people make me wait, and they jank was either some shit.
Cold.
And that's the one thing I really hate. You make me wait, and that jank some shit. Oh my god, and you can't take it. Oh my lord. But then there'd be an asshole of a person. It's just like, damn, I waited just to do this, and you just a straight up asshole. Like what? What the fuck was I doing? Or what the fuck was I thinking about? Then it makes it seem wild because then like you did that, you waited. And they an asshole. You just want to get rid of them. Now it just seem like you left because you got the pussy. But in all actuality,
you waited to get the pussy, and then you found out they was assholes, so you gotta leave. Yeah.
You feel me? And then they jank some shit.
Some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that first, because you would have stayed if she was an asshole and the pussy was good. Be like, that don't matter that much.
You're right. I might would have stepped back a little bit with some shit, and you an asshole.
Rogie, hey.
That's
everybody loves Rogie, man.
I've done it.
Imani was on it this time.
I poured it before we got off the list. I wanted to ask you guys, have you guys seen The Chi ever?
I watched the first season, but I didn't watch. I haven't watched since.
I stopped after bruh left.
Who? Oh, they said he sexually assaulted somebody. But he was one of my favorite characters.
The show didn't flow good after that.
They made everything up after that. But I asked because there was this one episode, I don't know, like Kevin was the younger brother and he had those two friends, Papa and Jake.
Yeah,
and Jake, his older brother, came in after his other older brother died. And basically Jake has started messing with this girl. His brother finds like a condom in his room. And he sits Jake down one day. He's like, we clearly need to have a talk. And Jake, like, the birds and the bees talk, like, I've already had that. And he was like, no, we need to talk about like respecting women. Like, you shouldn't just be putting your dick nowhere where, you know, you don't see nothing of this person because it's bad on your part. And then it's also bad on their part. So I think my question to y'all is like, we're in our like mid-20s now. That sounds kind of weird because I know y'all since we was like 14.
I know, right?
But we're in our mid-20s now. So it's like y'all, Diamante, you said when you used to be messaging girls on Facebook, it was like, if you're not fucking, what do you think the mindset that, you know, younger men should kind of have now? Because I feel like, you know, we're talking about Kevin Samuels, who came from a generation above us. And it's like now y'all have the platform to kind of provide men or like younger boys with the mindset to like, I don't want us to do things that you kind of learned as you got older, but I'm just curious, like, what do you think is important to know?
I personally think like really you should still explore. You should still explore, but you gotta be in a respectful way. And that it don't mean like put your dick up in any girl. You know what I'm saying?
And wear a condom.
All right, but and of course wear a condom. But more make sure to explore different women, understand your interests, and then like you do gotta get the experience. So if it do lead to that, don't be too hesitant. But like you don't want to wait till you later in like life, because I've seen that with like adults kind of struggling because they don't know what they want, they don't know how to approach a woman, and they don't know how to respectfully talk to a girl. So like still have that experience where you kind of talk and you dating and you getting to practice and but be safe and be smart and be always be respectful, because if you start that at an earlier age, by the time once you become an adult, you'll know what you want. You'll have like the experience to do what you could do and impress the woman. And like no funny, like you'll be a very respectful person to that woman, where nowadays it's not a lot of respect. And I feel like that's what really make you stand out with women, having that utmost respect for her and stuff.
Can I ask a question right before you answer, Kelvin? Are you gonna remember your answer?
Yeah.
Do y'all think that dating is encouraged for younger? Like I actually don't think dating around. Well, actually, Kelvin, answer first because I don't want to change the conversation.
Well, I think if I was to like talk to like, well, when I had like high school, in NYLA, like when I used to have high school kids, what I would tell them as far as like with girls is like, I mean, girls gonna always be there. Like, I know that's some like OT ass shit, but like that's really it. Like real life, girls ain't going nowhere. Like, if your primary focus is girls right now, you feel me? It's like, yeah, go have fun, go do your thing. But like we all seen how, being focused on girls or being focused on boys can majority of the time when you're in high school, you liable to make more of a mistake because you're not as experienced. So if you focus on girls and you get yourself involved in some things that honestly you just not old enough to fully understand yet, just chill. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, have fun, date, go holler at a girl, go out, take her to a movie. But this is the thing: take her out. Like, I think the problem is like with young niggas now. Like, I don't know if like this is a thing with them. But we used to take our girls to the movies.
Oh,
We
I
would
love
go down Silver Spring. We would go to the museum as
Georgetown. Don't play.
yeah, like all kinds of shit at 14, 15 years old. So it's like we've been going on dates. We've been taking a girl out, even in high school. So it's like if like I don't obviously, still you living under somebody's roof. So, I'm pretty sure you can't just go over somebody's house. But the
But I
fact
don't
that
know.
like
Do the kids live under somebody's roof? Because it seems like
you
they just
never
don't
know,
ever.
for real. But it's more like, man, these are the things as at a young age, I knew that like, okay, this will help me, this will separate me from other niggas. If you only want to go out with a girl, I mean, only want to go to a crib or only want to, have her come to the crib, you're not really interested. You're not really getting to know her.
And I think that was my issue. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, I had like selected girls I'm taking out, but most of them, I'm just listen. We getting it done,
Southern Ave.
and you out of here. We
Green
getting
line, slide on the green line.
it. Hey, listen, you
Walk to the
slide.
station. Walk to the station when you done.
Now, Diamante used to live so close to that station.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to tell you, money, yo. I just had to walk right there, bada boom, bada bing, and it was like I ain't gonna
It's
hold
so
you.
interesting because I remember the first time a guy invited me to his house. I think it was like the end of my freshman year or in high school, or it might have been like the end of sophomore year in high school. And he invited me to his house, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm not going to his house. Like, why would I go to his like y'all? We had been out multiple times and all that, but it was just like, why would I go to his house? Like, no, he's probably going to think something of it. And I think he ended up calling one of my friends and telling her like she think I'm a do something to her. But it's because like that was so much of what I knew was just like girls, just like nobody wanted really anything from each other than sex. And like after that, like it was cool. Went over there, had a good time. We never fucked. So I'm just gonna put that out there. But it's just interesting because I feel like so much in my head as a young girl was like I was so cautious about myself because that's all that I thought that guys wanted, And I feel like with the younger generation, like the music, all this, everything is
Oh,
perpetuated. Like you just supposed to get what you want from women because they're just gonna give it to you if you have money, if you have status, if you're gangster enough, if you're killer enough, if you're cloudy enough, like they should just give it to you.
I just heard niggas with face tats got it easier right now.
I saw that Finsta
we just said
discussion.
something about
Face tats are kind of attractive, not gonna lie.
this girl was like, you know, obviously I get the point about like you not wanting a dude with a job as far as a lifestyle thing. Yeah, literally, she said, I
Like a
don't want
9 to 5, like a
I don't want a guy who
salary.
works a 9 to 5 salary, right? But
And
this is I guess like this is people's point when they try to allude to that, like, oh, you know, like she's an entrepreneur, so you know the lifestyle won't fit, da 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 da. But I think that's what Kevin Sanders was trying to say, like, bro, like that. What do you? Okay, this is what you bring to the table. So for one, you're not going to be as available either. You know what I mean? If you're an entrepreneur and I have the set schedule. If I work the 9 to 5, you know when I'm home. You know what I mean? You're able to work around my schedule. Like, when are we going to go on dates if you're always busy? You know, if you're, you know what I mean? If you have to run a business. You know what I mean? I have more of the time for real, to be honest with you. Now, obviously, there gets to a point where you're an entrepreneur and your schedule gets more flexible. But I just think like right now, like what you were saying earlier, Monty, like a lot of people, men and women, have unrealistic like
when you were saying that,
just
it made me think of all the, like, you ever see the Twitter post or in the Instagram post where the girls are posting like it's like 10 Louis Vuitton bags and like 3 Chanel bags, and it's like, what does your dude do? Like, it's, and I feel like everyone is expecting that, but it's like, y'all, I'm 25 years old, like I don't make 6 figures yet.
I'm glad you said that, because listen, it be motherfuckers with like all them designer bags, the shoes, the little purses, and it just be for like a simple gift, like a welcome home gift, or like, hey, I miss you, some shit. I'm like, god damn, nigga, you setting the bar a little bit too high for like
And
regular
that's
people.
right. I think that's what I was trying to say before. It's like, and I feel like it's more like you're using me as a status symbol than, and you're using me more as a status symbol than as a relationship. Like, you want me to help you look good. Like, oh yeah, her dude got money because we know he just bought her. But it's like, is that really like what is the real measure of a relationship these days?
yeah, like that's
My bad. I was just gonna say one thing. That's just like an ultimate misconception too, because once you see a woman have all those bags and things of that nature, you think that their relationship is going so great. But I'm not gonna hold you. You can get all those bags and a nigga be doing you dirt bad. You know what I'm saying? Like real life, the
The dirt
crazy
bags are the biggest.
and like real
That's
life.
usually why.
I'm just saying, like, that's how a lot of people kind of see it. Like, oh, he need to do X, Y, and Z, and that makes him the perfect person for me. But like, that motherfucker could be having 5 different girlfriends. He just having them.
And
You
he's
know what
just
I'm saying?
giving them all the
money
bags.
isn't and one thing people got to realize as we gotten older, like money isn't a thing for certain people. Like certain people have equated, you know, enough income in order to do things like that if they choose to do so. Like if they
And some people are not spending their own money.
yeah, like it's really that's what it comes down to. And I think one thing like to really like bring it all like home, like everything that we talked about is just basically like, yeah, Kevin Samuels' approach was, you know, not necessarily the best, but I think that he brought out the questions that nobody wanted to talk about. Like, I think he brought awareness to, you know, underlying topics that, you know, we knew were there, but nobody ever wanted to discuss because, like, it's everything is, you know, some stuff is offensive. Like telling somebody about themselves is always going to come across as offensive. You know why? Because people are always going to be conscious of what you say about them. You know, like, yeah, there's ways to take constructive criticism, obviously, but it's still criticism. Still like, damn, I have to go reevaluate, you
And
know, about myself. I have to go change something about myself. So it's like, all right, well, damn, I don't really want to do that. So you know what I'll do? I'll ignore it. And that's what we've been doing for a while, just ignoring the inevitable. And the thing is, the nigga was talking about shit that is true amongst dating in this lifestyle, like of high value men, women of stature, things of that nature.
I forgot he had the woman of stature.
Mm-hmm.
What he just said in that Vlad interview that I was listening to was like he just really just wanted to start a conversation. And I feel like like you said, we don't agree with everything he said, but I do think it is important for us to be having these conversations because who are we looking at? Like I said, what is the measure of a relationship these days? Like, who are we looking at for guidance? There's not that many examples. Like, we have a lot of movie examples of what relationships are supposed to look like. And that's like what, an hour and 30 minutes of
Right.
30 minutes of an hour of struggle and 30 minutes of they got together and like love each other. Like, what is that as an example? So
even my boy Cole, like real live, like that Will love, that what I'm saying, that Jada and Will love, like that shit cap. Like you don't want that. Like you don't want that. Like you feel me? Like that is, but to the public eye, we always thought prior to, obviously all the information being put out. I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was a beautiful couple. I thought that was the ideal couple. Like,
and I think, oh, sorry, Demonte.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think they are still a beautiful couple because I think what's beautiful about them is their transparency. Even if they're I'm not gonna lie, I be hearing too much about Will and Jada Smith, but I do think that there is a level of transparency that we should have more of it. I mean, I'm not saying go out and tell everybody everything that's going on in your relationship, but I feel like we look at it's like a fairy tale because we've never seen anything real. So we look to fairy tales for our example of what Black love should look like or what love should look like. And I know we all know that love is not just fucking butterflies and fairy tales and get a high value man and it's going to be perfect. Or if you're a woman of stature and you meet a high value man, like everything's going to be great, because that's not what it is.
Right.
I think we need more of that, and that's the conversation. But Diamante, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Nah, my bad. I was just going to just wrap that up and like kind of like summarize exactly how y'all said it, right? Like we really don't need to keep trying to dictate others' actions or others' relationships to be like the staple for ours, the example for how we should format ours. We should just live life and be able to, like you say, be transparent with our partner, be able to communicate with that person, because that's the only key thing that not only help the relationship grow, but help you grow as an individual. Because maybe in that relationship, you may not be for that person, but by communicating, you both can grow and find that person for one another. Or you guys talk things out. You guys can, take it all the way to the finish line with it now. But man, this has been a great episode right here.
Great episode, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. Any closing remarks, Imani?
Hey, it's Road Shows, it's D.
Well, and I'm Imani.
Need a couple bad exotics and a black Bugatti. Switch a car, they was Coach Tuesdays for Maseratis. Me and Doe, we bought the 80, call them Jeremy Shockey. I'm a Leo lion, all that I stand tall like Rocky.